He's really... Okay, I didn't think Magic Echo would let... I would have to do this at 10 at a time, but okay, this is a... This is... Hello and welcome to Smashing Gaming, my name is Will, and today we have a deck list featuring Togekiss VMAX and Altaria, so without hesitation, let's get into the list. So going forward, I'm going to be changing up the format of the videos slightly. I'm going to be going through the main idea of the deck list to begin with, and then what we'll do is we'll get into some games, and then I will give my kind of thoughts on the deck at the end, and I'll also kind of go through the cards right at the end. That way we can hopefully get into games a bit quicker, and also you get to find the main strategy behind the deck. So starting off for the Togekiss Altaria deck, the main idea behind the deck is that we use Togekiss VMAX's max glide attack that does 120 to our opponent's active Pokemon. Then the hope is here that with a combination of a Big Charm and a Radiant Gardevoir on the bench, we will hopefully be able to tank a hit. We can then switch into our Altaria that has the ability Magical Echo, that allows us to move all the damage counters from one of our Pokemon onto our opponent's Pokemon. So hopefully we can move all the damage counters from Togekiss back onto our opponent's Pokemon and take a knockout. It also means that we get to leave Altaria, which is a one prize Pokemon, in the active. So with that said, let's get into the games. And Altaria. So I'm still liking PTCG Live. I know there's been a lot of hate for PTCG Live in terms of its look, and I do agree a lot of what's been said. You know, the board itself is pretty dull. In terms of the bugs, for example, like the cards being low resolution, I'm not arguing with it, but again, I can kind of forgive that because I would class that as a bug. What I really don't like though is the plainness. I do like the animation when you place a Pokemon onto a bench. I just wish it would stay, because I think it would be better if it stayed personally. But that's fine. So we'll just go for Oranguru here. Do have Capture Energy, so we could go for Togekiss. So it looks like we're going to Blissey. The Blissey's quite a tanky deck. I think what we'll do is we'll get away the Serena. I'm going to go for a Togekiss here. Go for the Capture Energy, and we'll get ourselves a... We probably want to get a Swablu, and I think what we'll do is we want to Oranguru back the research. It's fine, and we'll just end our turn there. So yeah, Blissey is quite tanky. We do need to watch also because they do play their own Miltank. This could be Blissey Lugia if it's... Oh, so it is Blissey Lugia, okay. It's just when I saw the unidentified fossil. Does mean we are at potential risk of a Raikou, so I think what we'll need to do is we'll need to get a Dunsparce down. We're not too worried so much about name for weakness, because we are a normal Pokemon hitting into a normal Pokemon, so we should be good. So here's the Archeops. They're going to discard the Archeops. I meant to take my glasses off actually, because I took the glasses off. I can see fine without my glasses, but until I get a better light, the camera is reflecting the blue tint on my glasses, so it's, I know for content it's not particularly good, so I do see fine without them. I just see better with them, if you know what I mean. Alright, so they're just going to pass to us. Opponent did just, though, they didn't play any supporters, which does make me think they may have something. I think what we'll do is put the research back on, and we will Marnie. Actually, before we Marnie, what we'll do is we've got ourselves a Gardevoir LOR. We do have the Dunsparce in the deck, so if we do see a Raikou coming down, we will be very wary. Sadly, we have managed to whiff a switch or a way out, so we're just going to have to end our turn just now. Deck probably might actually benefit from like a Lumineon or something like that, just for initial. If you're stuck in the active, you can get yourself out. Although if we top deck a double turbo, we should be in good stead. I'm going to go for the Capture Energy here. Okay, so there's no Raikou just yet, so just go for our Blissey. So this must just be purely Blissey. So this will be a long game, I'm going to imagine, because we're both trying to tank. Although they have filled, well, they might have the intermediate evolution, because I was going to say they have filled up the entire bench here. Most of the time you don't want to do that with Lugia, especially if you want to use Summoning Star. I think they're going to do 80 this turn, right? Is it 10 plus 50 more? So they're doing, okay, so it's actually 70 they're doing. And this Oranguru has 80 left. Okay, so it's 50 they're doing. Can we top deck something useful here? Path to the Peak. I think what we do is we will play Path for now. And I think what we'll do is we'll put it back to the Altaria. This is our path, and we'll just slowly build up another Togekiss here, just so we have it on the bench. Togekiss does have 3 retreat. Hopefully the path does slow them down a little bit. Obviously they can manually get up to the Archeops with the unidentified fossil, but they can't use Summoning Star, which is fine. And at least we can get the first hit in. Well, I say first hit, they've been going to take the knockout with on the Oranguru. But I think getting the first hit into the V is good. Okay, so they did have a boss. It's good to see that going into the discard pile. They are going to start building up the Lugia. Treasure Energy. Okay, so they do get the build barrel as well. So they can't use it with their hand being at 5 at the moment. Let's hope they take the knockout on the Guru, otherwise we are just stuck waiting now. So there's a Blissful Blast rather. And they're going to get one prize. I think we can take, what we'll do also is we'll get our Swablu onto the bench. We do have the Altaria as well. And we will max glide. I think we probably want to go for a... Probably want to try and go for a... We'll get ourselves a research because our hand is pretty dead, and we'll go for another Altaria. The Treasure Energy doesn't allow them to draw though. So if we can evolve our 2 Altarias, we can put the damage on to this Blissey. So we're going to slowly build up this Lugia. We'll get ready path to the Peak if they use, I think it's, so read the wind and then there's like max dive, L-die or something like that. Okay, so we're going to get 1 card off the Cyan. I wonder what they're putting back from the discard pile here. So they've got Boss, they've got Research, they've got Evolution Incense, they've got Quick Ball. So they put, is that Research back? Yeah, so they put the Research back into the deck, interestingly enough. So we'll see what they're hoping to do here. I think so. We'll take 50 damage. We'll evolve both the Altaria. We'll evolve both the Swablus into Altaria. Go for research, and we'll just dig. Hopefully, we can get ourselves. So we're doing 70. Okay, hopefully we can get ourselves. Okay, so we've got an Avery, so we could play the Avery. It would mean they would have to decide what to keep. I think the Avery is actually a bit more destructive. I think what we'll do is we'll go for Avery then now. It does get us a Cheren care though, and we do have the Evolution Incense to go for the Togekiss, so we'll see what our opponent discards here. Okay, so we're going to get rid of Blitz. Is that what they got rid of? Sorry, no, just... So, okay, so they got rid of the Oranguru and the Bilbarrow. Okay. What we'll do is we'll evolve our benched Togekiss just to thin the deck a wee bit more. Don't think we'll keep Dunsparce now. Actually, I wish I kept that Dunsparce. We'll get rid of Cheren's care. It's a misplay on my part. We'll get ourselves a Miltank just to show them it. Just because it is a threat to them. We'll go for 280 and we will search for a. I think what we'll do is we'll take a Bird Keeper and a Serena. Gives us options. Does give us 2 prizes. 1, 2. Okay, so we've got our path to the peak and a quick ball. I think ideally here, we've got Bird Keeper if they decide to boss up the Radiant Gardevoir and try and keep us into the active. Don't have a double turbo though, we could dig for it with Professor's Research. Might be not a bad shot. I'd hate to bench the Miltank at the moment. Might have to. Okay, so I'm going to go for Capture Energy here. Not quite sure what they're going to go for. Okay, so we're going to go for our big Ball setup here. And they're just going to research away. Okay, that's a lot of energy going into the discard pile. I don't think they can. Yeah, read the wind gets rid of the path to the peak, but that's fine. Actually, does it get rid of the path to the peak? It's Aerodive that gets rid of this. It's Aerodive that gets rid of the peak. Okay. So we do keep the. I think what we'll do is we'll use Bird Keeper and we'll go into the Togekiss. Do get the Twin Energy, which I will attach to Altaria just in case. What we'll also do as well is we don't really need the quick ball anymore, so I think we'll get rid of this balloon and yeah, get rid of that. Just in case they try and retreat. So we will go for a. We'll go for the Miltank, and I want to try and get a. Probably going to go for a V-Guard Energy and a Big Charm. I think that's what we'll do. So do we have the Big Charm? Yep, and we'll go for a V-Guard. We don't have V-Guards. Okay. We'll go for the Purple Colorless Energy. Is that V-Guard we've attached to? Is that what was Capture? It's Capture and Purple Color, so we must have prized the V-Guard Energy. I'm pretty sure I put a V-Guard Energy into the deck. Okay, so they're going to go for another balloon. Do have the V-Star. So they do hit us for the moment. They're doing 220. We only have one thing I do like about PDCG Live is it tells you, so we do have 240 health. So this might be the perfect turn to go for in Altaria play. We may boss up something though, we'll see. Let's see what they go for here. How many bosses have they got in the discard pile? One. Could boss up something. They may have Serena as well, but if they boss up the Togekiss, you know, we're fine. We've got free retreat anyway. So we'll see what our opponent decides to do here. Another play they might do is take out the Radiant Gardevoir, which well would be problematic for us. Okay, they're just going to pass to us. It does mean we're taking a knockout on this. So yeah, so we'll just retreat into the fresh Togekiss here. With the Big Charm we are able to tank a hit, and we will search our deck for a card. I think what we'll do is we'll take a Marnie just in case. Actually, we'll take a Serena as well. That way we can boss up this Blissey if they decide to keep on the bench. Our opponent obviously was aware what we were going to do there, because they were unlikely to take the one-hit KO on the Togekiss, so they decided to pass to us. They may go for their own Miltank. If they do, we can use Altaria still, because the amount of damage they do with Miltank should be fine. We'll see if our opponent scoops here. They may decide to do a Scooby-Doop. Really, we should name it something like that. I know why it's called scooping, it's because it's a scoop up net, you know, you scoop the Pokemon up, but I think it should be called something else. You know, try and think, because you know, you could scoop would be ice, the ice cream Pokemon is ice, not Ice Cube. Ice Cube is the penguin. Can't mind that one name. Anyway, the opponent is taking a while here. And probably are quite surprised we took the knockout on the Lugia. Come on. Okay, so they're going to go into the identified fossil. So we do have Serena to boss up the bench Blissey. We sadly might get stuck in the active though. If they do decide to boss up either the Miltank or the Radiant Gardevoir, because they are both required to retreat. And our opponent does have quite a large hand. What's really frustrating from a content creation point of view is when you're trying to create videos and stuff like this, people do tend to take a long time when they've lost, or quite often what happens is they just scoop straight away, so you never get to do the big payoff, you know, if you were building up for it, which it can be quite frustrating sometimes, but that's the name of the game. You know, at the end of the day, we play the game because we enjoy it. Yeah, so they're going to scoop, so there we go. That's just the way it goes sometimes, you know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So with that, we'll see if we can get to another game. Okay, here we go, another game with Togekiss and Altaria. Hopefully we can do the old wombo combo thing here. We'll see what we're up against. So that was against Lugia Blissey. I'm not quite sure. One of the biggest downsides in PTCG Live is that you can't see your opponent's decks, whereas old PTCG, if the person didn't choose to hide their deck, you could view it. But on PTCG Live you can't see it at all. You also don't get a log as well, so you can't really check past like actions and stuff like that to kind of see where you went wrong. But again, these things can all be improved over time. So this might be Shadow Rider we're against. So this could be quite an uphill battle, but we'll see how we do. So we've got a Swablu. We do have Togekiss and an Air Balloon to retreat. We've also got the Regenerative Energy as well. Probably Dunsparce is probably not going to be needed here if it is indeed a Psychic based deck, based on the deck box and the card sleeves. See if this is okay, so it is Shadow Rider. It is the lovely art Shadow Rider. So I think what we'll do is we'll pitch the Dunsparce now. We are sadly in a wee bit of kind of top deck mode here, so we do have several outs, so we should be fine. We will go for the path to the peak though now, because I believe their first attack can stop us playing stadiums. Shadow Mist during the opponent's next turn, they can't play Special Energy or any stadium cards, so it's probably worth going for the path to the peak. The Marnie will come in handy. Does mean though we can't attach any Special Energy to Togekiss. Okay, so they are going to go for their own stadium. We can go for Heavy Ball though as well and dig into the prizes, see what we have prizes. We have Serena, that's another good top deck. We've got 2 Altaria prize, that's not very good. We've got 1 Togekiss VMAX and Big Ball. One path to peak, okay, so that's fine. Probably will need to... Let's put the purple Colorless energy back now. Let me draw the same, okay. Okay, we'll have to probably... We want to Lost Vacuum here. Oh, actually I didn't mean to do that, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll get rid of the balloon. So our opponent is still stuck inactive. They do have their abilities now on, but we do have Serena next turn. Hopefully we can draw out of it. So we are going to attach an energy to the Shadow Rider. I'm going to go for the... That's it, I'm going to Shadow Misters again. Again, it does stop us playing the energy. It's not great. We will go for the Primate Wisdom again. It might actually mean if they decided to Shadow Mist all game, we would be kind of stuck. So we will go for the... If we do get into the VMAX, what we'll do is we'll here evolve into our VMAX, and really I think we just have to wait and we'll see where if our opponent decides to not use Shadow Mist. And even if they do evolve Shadow Rider into Shadow Rider VMAX, if we're super lucky and we draw into a Altaria, we can just move the damage straight across onto the Shadow Rider. It does look like though they are going to Shadow Mist us again, yeah, which is going to mean it's going to be a long game. So there's not much we can do. We will put the Camo on, and we'll also just keep the Serena. I want to keep that at hand now. We can also Cheren this away as well, so we'll just hold that now. Opponent may be playing a long game, which is fine. Doesn't make for good content though. It will be a long game. They do have Jinx. They're just going to keep Shadow Misting us. I think what we'll do is we'll just pass straight to our opponent so that we are can catch up on the time here. There's really not much we can do. Shadow Mist only does do 10 damage, but it will be a super long game. So we're going to Shadow Mist us again. This is going to be a rather dull game. There's not much we can do at the moment. We need them to VMAX their Shadow Rider. And we do have the Miltank, so that's fine. So we can at least wall with Miltank. We can retreat next turn. We can take the damage off the Togekiss. And then they will be stuck. Hopefully Miltank does force our opponent to consider something else. Okay. Well, they will not be able to hit us if we retreat into the Miltank, and we'll just hold now. We'll see what our opponent does here. They may have boss in hand, which again isn't great, but at least if they use yeah, so it's not going to do anything to us. Just have to hold them out. There's going to be a long game, I fear. Unless they're completely dead drawn, which is fine if they are. As soon as they use something other than Shadow Mist, we will be able to do something. This is going to be okay. I'm going to go for a quick ball. Get rid of a rod. We're going to get themselves another Shadow Rider set up. Okay. Okay, so it looks like they're just going to keep shadow misting us. So what we'll do is, if this is going to be this long game, I will probably edit it so that it goes quicker. The great thing about video editing. Okay, so finally we've got a Shadow Rider VMAX getting placed down. And again, I'm just going to keep using Shadow Mist. Do have the path to the peak, so we could play that in to stop our opponent. We're going to use Underworld Door. Imagine they're trying to build up to they have a boss to take a knockout on the Togekiss that's on the bench. But so what we'll do is I'll probably Cheren care that total. We're actually going to have an attack here, so they might have something. They might actually have something here that we're going to be boss. So they're going to boss up the Togekiss. And they're going to boss up the Togekiss. We've got another Jinx. They're going to Serena us, that's fine. We can... Okay, so they're not going to Serena us, they're just going to discard cards. Surely they would have been better using Serena here. Okay, so I'm just going to pass to us. In which case, I think what we'll do is we'll put the... Go for the Big Charm here. Also go for the powerful Colorless energy. Also put Path to the Peak in play, and we will go for Cheren's Care, so I can pick up the Swablu, and we'll get ourselves a balloon. We'll retreat to the Togekiss, and we'll also put the here. Also going to put probably we'll go for research back on top of the deck. And we'll go for 140 into this Shadow Rider. Now they will hit us for a lot of damage. We will go for 2 cards here, so we'll get ourselves a Gardevoir and probably we'll go for a Togekiss VMAX. Does mean we can tank a wee bit more next turn. We do have 340 health, but we've only actually got a total of 290 left. So at the moment their Shadow Mist is doing, so it does 10 plus 50 more for each damage. They just use Cook, so Cook healed all the damage off them, so they're down to 80. Okay, so I think if we can get ourselves a Swablu here, we'll be sitting pretty. What we'll do is we will put the Serena back into the deck. We're going to have to attach to the Swablu, and we'll play the Gardevoir. Hopefully we can get an Altaria. If we don't, it will be a sad end. Okay, so we don't have the Altaria, so I think what we'll need to do is we'll go into the Miltank now, force our opponent to play a boss. It's very annoying. How many are there any bosses down? So there are 1 Serena down, so they may have boss. At this point there are 1-hit KO on our VMAX. So we're going to go for a Cape of Toughness onto the right, so we could actually, if we draw into Altaria, there is a world where we can, okay, so I'm just going to pass to us. There's the Altaria, so we do have the combo, so what we'll do is we'll go here. We're going to go for Altaria. We'll do here. We're also just going to force our opponent to get rid of, well, they'll just probably get rid of that Jinx. So what we'll do is we'll keep it in now. Use Magical Echo, which will get a knockout. He's really okay. I didn't think Magical Echo would let. I would have to do this at 10 at a time, but okay, this is a This is not what I was expecting. Okay, our bonus is great. Oh my, that's okay. I stand corrected on my comment about the design. That's just that would take a lot of clicking. Anyway, alright, well that's Altaria and Togekiss. I'll see if we can get one more game if it's not too long. Okay, here we go, another game with Altaria and Togekiss VMAX. If it's not too long, I'll include it, but if it's going to be a long game, probably might not, because I don't want the videos to be too long. Of course, if you don't like the videos being long, please let me know. Leave a comment below and I will increase the length of the videos, but that was just, I'd have to spend ages fucking put 10 damage at a time. That's so funny. Alright, so okay, so we're going to go for our Togekiss. And not a bad start here, not a bad start. I'd like to have a supporter though. I would really like to have a supporter. We do have, you know, we do have the researchers, we do have Marnie's, we've got Avery, we have Bird Keeper as well, we do have Serena's, so we should be good, although we are in top tech mode at the moment. This might be Shadow Rider again, it could be also Mewtwo. If it's the Clefairy or the Lunatone deck, we might struggle quite a bit, mostly because we do lose the prize trade. Obviously they're one prize attackers and we are a multi-prize attacker, so we'll see. Excuse me. We'll see what kind of deck this is. Okay, so this is Remoraid, so that probably means it's going to be what's it called? Malmar. So I think what we'll do is we'll just hold our hand and now. It does mean that Altaria is probably not going to be much use. Really, we're going to have to rely on our tanking abilities. Bad to say that we wouldn't be, if we can tank, well actually we could tank a hit from Malmar. It might not be Malmar if they're playing Bidoof though. Maybe just talking out my butt, who knows? Is it going to be an Inky? Or is it going to be a Swablu? Swablu. So what are we going to be up against? We do have some single prize daggers, so we can. I mean, Magical Echo isn't the only attack that Altaria has. It also has Blasting Wind. Cheren and Blasting Wind, yeah. So okay, so it is Malmar. It's been a long time since I've seen Malmar, but Malmar is one of the free decks you get when you come into PCGT Live. Still getting used to saying that. I'm just going to start calling it P Live. Okay, so we can take the knockout in the Remoraids. I'd rather. We're probably going to need a boss. One of the downsides of Togekiss VMAX's attack is that we are kind of relying on our opponent not disrupting our hand, although you do have the is it Melodic that does prevent that. I'm also going to put the Big Parasol on, and I am going to use Path to the Peak just in case they're playing any sneaky tech cards that allow them to draw cards like a Luminion or something like that. So we will go for a Radiant Gardevoir only reduces for VMAXs, so we'll get ourselves a Togekiss and I think actually an Avery, because if our opponent overbenches, Avery will come in handy. Here it will force him to discard some cards, and we do get a Togekiss from the prizes. So if they can hit 310 this turn, is technically possible, I think, with Malmar. They'd have to draw really well here, so they are going to evolve into the Malmar, and they may have the artillery to go and get a Karina's Focus, or they may actually be playing Bruno. We'll see what our opponent does. We're not hitting them sadly for, we're not able to take a one-hit KO on this Malmar because we've got reduced damage thanks to the double turbo. So they are going to get rid of a boss. There comes another Inky. If they do overbench, we can force an Avery play here. We've got the balloon on the barrel, and they do have the research. Okay, so we pitch a Malmar. Okay, so they've got the artillery as well, so they might actually have it here. They go for artillery, so they can go and grab another rapid strike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 7. Although they do need to still attach an energy here, so we'll see what they go for. Maybe they're going for Rapid Strike Energy. Spiral Energy, that's what you call it, not Rapid Strike Energy. Rapid Strike Energy is the one that's fighting in water. We're going to use Great Ball, so their hand isn't too bad here. If they do bench something, Avery would be coming handy. Oh, they're going for it, looks like. They've got a lot of balls here. So, how many are they going to discard? They're pretty much discarding their entire hand. Okay, 200. We don't actually get to take a knockout on the what do you call it? Okay, they're just going to skip us. Okay, well that was a quick game, so what I'll do is I'll just include that and that'll be it for the games. So that, I'll see you in the rest of the video. So hello and welcome to Final Thoughts. So get using my pack lead 5 out of 5 Pokeballs. I'm going to give the deck 4. The deck feels good if you can use Togekiss VMAX's max light attack. You know, you can set your deck for any 2 cards, which sets you up nicely for the next turn. The downside is that you are open to hand disruption from things like Marnie or Judge. If I was tweaking the deck, I would consider possibly playing the Rapid Strike Milotic that has the, I think it's something I think it's Guard is called, the ability is what it's called, and it basically stops your hand from being marnied, so it probably would be a good tech into the deck. The deck feels pretty good, you know, when you get to use Max Glide and get those 2 cards, and as long as your hand is not disrupted, you then can tank a hit and then you can move into the Altaria, which is great, and then you can move all that damage off of Togekiss. Of course, with BDC July being the way it is, having to do 10 damage per click is slightly annoying, but hopefully they can improve that with time. So yeah, so I'm going to go into each card in more detail next. So if you feel like subscribing or leaving a comment below, please feel free. Any comments on the deck or even the videos in general all do help me improve. So with that, I'll see you next time. Okay, so starting off with the Pokemon, we have Manaphy. Manaphy is a water Pokemon. It has 70 HP, it has a retreat cost of 1, it has a weakness to lightning, and it has 1 attack. Rain Splash, that does 20 damage for 1 water energy. However, Manaphy is in the deck for his ability, Wave Veil, that prevents all damage done to your bench Pokemon from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. Next, we have a Radiant Gardevoir. Radiant Gardevoir is a Psychic Pokemon. It has 130 HP, it has a retreat cost of 2, it has a weakness to metal, it has a 1 attack, Psychic, that for 1 Psychic Energy and 2 Colorless Energy, does 70 damage, plus the attack does 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. However, Gardevoir is in here for its ability Love and Veil. It helps us tank against other Pokemon V, and Love and Veil basically means that all of our Pokemon take 20 less damage from attacks from our opponent's Pokemon V. That's of course after applying weakness and resistance. Next, we have 1 copy of Dunsparce. Dunsparce is a normal Pokemon. It has 60 HP, it has a retreat cost of 1, and a weakness to fighting. it has 1 attack, roll out, that for 2 Colorless energy, does 30 damage. However, Dunsparce is in here for his ability, Mysterious Nest. That means all of our normal Pokemon in play, both ours and our opponents, don't have any weakness, so this comes in handy for things like when we come against a Raikou or an electric deck. I've also placed 1 Miltank into the deck. Miltank is a normal Pokemon, it has 110 HP, it has a treat cost of 2 and a weakness to fighting. It has 1 attack, Route, that does 10 damage plus does 20 more damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon bench. And Miltank is in here for its walling ability, which basically means that it prevents all damage done to this Pokemon from attacks for our opponent's Pokemon V. We also have 2 copies of Oranguru. Oranguru is a normal Pokemon, it has 120 HP, it has a treat cost of 2 and a weakness to fighting. It has 1 attack for 3 Colorless energy, Whap Down, does 70 damage. However, Oranguru is mainly in here for his ability, Private Wisdom. It allows us to once per turn switch the top card on our deck with the top, well, sorry, it allows us to switch 1 card on our hand with the top card on our deck. I got there in the end. Next we have 1 copy of Swablu. Sorry, not 1 copy, we have Swablu, which is a normal Pokemon. It has 50 HP, it has a treat cost of 1 and a weakness to fighting. Sorry, weakness to lightning, I'm getting all mixed up now. It has resistance to fighting, and it has 1 attack, continuous spin, that does 20 damage, and you flip a coin until you get tails, and this does 20 damage for each head you get. Next we have Altaria. Altaria is a normal Pokemon, it has 110 HP, it has a treat cost of 1, it has a weakness to lightning and a resistance to fighting. It has 2 attacks. First attack, which is the main attack we're hoping to use with Altaria, is Magical Echo. That allows us to move all of the damage counters from one of our bench Pokemon to our opponent's active Pokemon. And also has the attack Blasting Wind, that for 3 Colorless energy does 90 damage. I'm also playing 1 copy of the Altaria with Tempting Tune. So Altaria here is a dragon Pokemon, it has 90 HP, it has no retreat, it has no weakness and it has no resistance. It has 1 attack for 1 water and 1 metal energy, Glide, it does 60 damage. However, Altaria is in here for its main ability, Tempting Tune, that allows us to search our deck for any card, any support card, reveal it, then put it on top of our deck. Next we have our main kind of starter attacker is Togekiss V. Togekiss V is a normal Pokemon, it has 200 HP, it has a treat cost of 1, it has a weakness to lightning, it has a resistance to fighting. It has 2 attacks. First attack, White Wind, for 1 Colorless energy does 20 damage plus if our opponent's active Pokemon is an evolution Pokemon, the attack does 70 more damage. It also has the attack Speedwing, and for 3 Colorless energy does 150 damage. Next we have the main star of the show, and that is Togekiss VMAX. Togekiss VMAX is a normal Pokemon, it has 310 HP, it has no retreat, it has a resistance to fighting, and it has a weakness to lightning. It has 1 attack, Max Glide, that for 2 Colorless energy does 120 damage, and we get to search our deck for up to 2 cards and place them into our hand. We then shuffle our deck. So with that, let's get into the trainers. So starting off with the trainers, we have Evolution Incense. Evolution Incense is an item card that allows us to search our deck for an evolution Pokemon, reveal it and place it into our hand. We then shuffle our deck. This is great for finding our Togekiss VMAXs and our Altarias when we need them. Next we have 1 copy of Hisuian Heavy Ball. Hisuian Heavy Ball again is an item card. It allows us to look at our face down prizes. If we reveal a basic Pokemon there we find, we place it into our hand and then replace it with Hisuian Heavy Ball. This is great if we have prized either our Dunsparce or our Manaphy, just to help us get them out that prizes so that we're not weak to bench damage or electric attacks. We also have Lost Vacuum. Lost Vacuum is another item card that allows us to remove either a Pokemon tool or a stadium card in play and place them into the Lost Zone. In order to do this, we must discard a card from our hand. We also have the usual copies of Quick Ball. Quick Ball allows us to search our deck for a basic Pokemon. In order to do this, we have to discard a card from our hand. We also have copies of Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball is the same as Quick Ball, but only better. The difference here is that you have to discard 2 cards, and you get to search your deck for either an evolution or a basic Pokemon, so great for finding any type of Pokemon you need. We also have 4 copies of Path to the Peak. Path to the Peak basically stops all Pokemon with a rule box, so that's Pokemon with rule boxes would be things like Pokemon Vs, Pokemon GXs, Radiant Pokemon, those type of Pokemon that generally have abilities, so this means that those abilities are turned off. Next we have Avery. Avery allows us to draw 3 cards, and if we draw cards in this way, your opponent must discard a Pokemon on their bench until they have only 3 remaining. This is great against any type of deck that requires a full bench, for example Hisuian Zoroark or the Regigigas deck, things like that. If our opponent also is great if our opponent decides to overbench. We also have 1 copy of Bird Keeper. Bird Keeper allows us to switch our active Pokemon with one of our bench Pokemon, and if we do that, we get to draw 3 cards. This is great if we get stuck into the active. We also have 1 copy of Cheren's Care. Cheren's Care allows us to put one of our normal Pokemon that has any damage counters attached to it, put it back into our hand, and then we can obviously replay those cards, basically removing all the damage from that Pokemon. Next we have the usual copies of Marnie, just great hand disruption and shuffle draw for ourselves. Both players shuffle their cards into the bottom of the deck and your opponent draws 4, you draw 5. We have Research, which is usual great dump and draw. You basically discard your entire hand and draw 7 cards. We've got Serena in here. Serena allows us to either discard up to 3 cards from a hand, and if we do, we can draw until we have 5 cards, or we can switch one of our opponent's bench Pokemon V and pull it into the active, so there's a great option there. We also have Air Balloon, just allowing us to reduce some of our Pokemon that have a retreat cost of 2, that retreat cost becomes nothing. Also have Big Charm. Big Charm allows all of our Pokemon that have been attached to have 30 plus HP. We also have Big Parasol in here. Big Parasol just prevents things like Yveltal and the Sableye Lost Mine from doing us damage. We also have Leafy Camo Poncho, which I'm liking more and more. As long as this is attached to a V-Star or a VMAX Pokemon, it can't be bossed or Serena up, which is very good if we want to keep our damaged Togekiss VMAX on the bench. Then with that, let's get into the energies. Okay, for the energies, we have copies of Capture Energy. Capture Energy, when it gets attached to one of our Pokemon, allows us to search our deck for a basic Pokemon and place it onto our bench. This is great for getting set up early in the game. We also have Double Turbo Energy. Double Turbo Energy counts as 2 Colorless energies and allows us to power up our Togekiss VMAX or our Altaria's attack with 1 attachment. It does mean though that for Togekiss we do 20 less damage, but that is absolutely fine because we're hoping to basically tank a hit anyway. Next we have Powerful Colorless Energy. Powerful Colorless Energy kind of helps offset the Double Turbo Energy if we have attached it, but it does mean that our attacks do 20 more damage to our opponent's active Pokemon. We also have Regenerative Energy. Regenerative Energy, when attached to Pokemon V, if we evolve that Pokemon V, we can heal 100 damage from it, so it might come in useful if we need to try and rescue a damaged Togekiss V. We also have a copy of Treasure Energy. Treasure Energy basically means that if we take this as a prize, we get to take another prize card. And with that, that's all the energies. So I will see you another day. Thanks for watching, and remember to hit that like and subscribe button.